Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is February 13th and we are doing the volume 14 of me answering your questions and your comments. So without further ado, let's start. The very first one for today is from Kaline Asri. Asked just 42 minutes ago. So let's get into it. Hi, I have applied for my spouse June 2021. And I got my citizenship now, my spouse still case on USCIS. How to upgrade? Please let me know. And how long take time for processing? Thank you. Okay, Kailana 3, so you asked the question on definitely the correct video. So you asked the question on why USCIS case taking this long. So what I want you to do is I want you to follow the instructions that are in the video. Go to uscis.gov, go into the processing times and check for your petition, for your processing center, wherever you send that application, right? Your I-130. Check how long the processing times typically are. And if you are beyond the typical processing times, then you will have to submit that case inquiry. Once you receive the response to case inquiry, then you can call and contact, actually by phone, contact USCIS and ask them kind of follow-up questions. Just be polite, be professional with your questions. Do not, appear stressed out or demanding or anything like this. Highly not recommended. Definitely not recommended at all. But you will have to follow that process regardless. And first, you will have to make sure that your case is outside of standard processing times. That's just the way it is. That's the process. And hopefully that will be helpful. Once you get some information, come back and you're always welcome to ask additional questions. All right, moving further to Bero. I'm filling I-539A application now with this video. Okay, I'm glad this was helpful. It's very helpful. Thanks a lot. You're very welcome. But I have two questions. Okay, good. Let's go. One, I'm filling for my wife's application. Okay, it says interpreter's contact information, statements, certification, and signature, which is me. I'll write my information, right? Okay, that's a great question, Bero. Thank you for bringing this up. I've never mentioned it in any of my videos. So basically, when you are helping your immediate relative, right? You're filling out together with your relative. Maybe you're on the same application, maybe you're not. You don't have to worry about filling out your information as an interpreter. Interpreter is only in those cases where it's completely separate third party that is helping you specifically with the purpose of interpreting the stuff that you're filling out in the application. If it's just you guys sitting down and you're saying like, okay, honey, fill in this, that you don't have to worry about filling out that interpreter at all. So all right, let's move on to your second question. Is in the description it says make the payment separately. If we are working with a check, what should I write in the explanation part? Okay, if I'm going to do with a debit card, where and how will I do it? There are no answers to these questions in this video and I urgently need these answers. Thanks a lot. Okay, great question again. Most of the times USCIS, they don't work with debit cards. Sometimes for some applications they do have debit card where you fill out the debit card information, the form, authorization form basically, that you send them. I would not recommend doing that personally. Stick to checks, personal checks. That is the most straightforward, unless of course you're filling out the application online, then you just pay online, obviously with a debit card. Yes, but whenever it comes to paper applications, I highly recommend just sticking to a check. And if they are requesting separate checks, what it means is they're requesting a separate check for each individual, and they're requesting a separate check for biometrics appointment if it's required, the biometrics fee, and the application. So if, let's say for example, there are two people on the application and you have to submit two separate checks for the biometric appointment and for the application, then there will be 4 checks total. If they allow to combine the fees, then you can do 2 checks. But again, it really depends on the application. Looks like you got everything right, you got the instruction open. They do require the separate checks, so just do it that way. That's the best, most secure, I would say, way of doing it. Most straightforward, avoiding any unnecessary mistakes and any unnecessary delays. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Kadek at D. I apologize if I pronounce her name incorrectly. Can you help me? How do I get my I-94 letter out, but I have entered the data correctly? Okay, so excellent question. I actually done a separate video specifically on retrieving that I-94 record in case if you are not able to do it online on Customs and Border Protection. If you entered your information correctly on CBP website and it is still not coming up, the only way that you can do and you have to do is you have to reach out directly to CBP. Now there are a couple of ways to do it. The first one is you will have to fill out the online form, which is a request form. Most of the times with that, it is addressed and the problem is resolved. What you need to do in that form, you have to say, hey, this is my name, this is my information, I'm trying to obtain my I-94 and it's not working out. And then they can compare their own record and see if the information is matching and then go from there. If your online form is not answered or it's not working out, then you will have to call them. Again, I've recently done a video on lost I-94. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called I-94 record lost, how to obtain it or something like that, where I described that process of contacting the CBP in detail. So check that video out. I'm gonna put this so that you're aware, and I will do that from now on for each and every comment that I respond to, so that you know that I addressed your comment and you're aware that there's a video with the response coming, being uploaded to this channel. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Phone Lionel. It was on volume 13, another video where I was answering the questions. Let's go. I made a I-130 petition with priority date June 2020 for my unmarried son who is over 21, and I'm a US citizen. Until date processing has not started, my USCIS. Should I make an inquiring? Secondly, between my first and last name on the USCIS website, I saw NMN. Should I as well contact them, or is it okay to stay that way? Okay, let me address your second question really quickly because it's going to be easy. If it says NMN on the USCIS website, then it is not a big deal, because if you know, whether you, for example, you're filling out the online application, or maybe you were registering with the USCIS online account and you didn't put your middle name, it just says for the record in the system that there is no middle name. That is completely fine. Now, if you got a document that has NMN in it, then of course, yeah, this is something you need to address. So in your case, Phone, I wouldn't worry about it. Now, going back to your I-130 petition, which is for unmarried son. You said the priority date is June 2020. Now I wanted to, since you brought it up, I wanted to, so it's helpful, this video, not for just you, but also for everyone who's watching this video. Whenever it comes to priority dates, right, it means that, let's say you submitted the application today. The priority date is June 2020. It means that today, USCIS is processing cases that were submitted back in June 2020. So that's more than 2 years. Wait, that's 2.5 years. My math is horrible. Let's say 2.5 years back, right? Let's say June 2020. From now, it's 2.5 years back. That means that you can kind of approximately think that your application will be processed 2.5 years from now. It's not guaranteed. These things always change. Sometimes USCIS catches up and processes the applications faster. Sometimes things slow down. All right, this is not a guarantee, but that's kind of like an estimation tool. If the USCIS is 2.5 years behind on the cases, well, there's quite a large number of a chance that my case is going to be processed with that much of basically wait time as well. So if you submitted the petition and priority date was June 2020, depending on when you sent that application, let's say if you sent it a year ago, right, and the priority date is June 2020, right now they are processing June 2020, but you submitted it a year ago, so it's 2022, so it's a year and a half that there is delay. So you probably should expect it another year and a half to wait for USCIS to check your case. But with all of that being said, I highly recommend checking out the videos that I made where it's called "My USCIS case is still pending. What should I do?" Something along those lines. It's pretty recently. Last week I uploaded that. In that video, I described the process of checking the processing times. Make sure to follow that process. Check the processing times. If your application is over processing times, then follow the further steps of contacting USCIS that I described in the video. And that would be the best thing to do, so that way you know exactly, you know it for sure, whether or not your case is being outside of normal processing times, or if it's just you have to be patient. Okay, moving further, from Mirza Rohail Baig, world's best video. Thank you, Mirza. I'm glad this is helpful. Moving further, from Kellen Valverde, he sent $5. Thank you very much, Kellen. I appreciate it. Your support is what makes this channel possible. So with that, actually, I'm gonna let's see. No, I can do that. Well, I'll have to do it from the video. But with that being said, I wanted to kind of add that I'm really grateful for all your support. All right, it enables me to get this channel going and put more work into it. Okay, Kelvin, again, thanks, my friend. You're the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching, and I'm glad this information is helpful. Moving further to Shemdan876. Thanks for that information. I appreciate very much. You're very welcome, Shemdan. Moving further, Muhammad Aslam Ajmerwala. Dear sir, our F3 approved visa petition pending at NVC. Priority year is January 2012. When I get welcome letter from NVC? Okay, excellent question, Mohammed. Again, priority year, if you watch this whole video up to now, you already know what priority year is, because I answered it just a few questions before. So right now, it means that whoever it is, whether it's USCIS or Department of State, it doesn't matter. They right now, at this very moment, if the priority date right now is January 2012, it means that right now they're processing cases from January 2012. So it's quite a long of a delay. There's quite some time. So, which means they're like 10 years, more than 11 years behind on their cases. So that's kind of gives you a little bit of estimation of how long you're going to wait. But moving further to your actual question, when I get welcome letter from NVC, that is a very good question, because once the USCIS transfers your case to NVC, usually you get that letter pretty quickly, and most of the times you get it in the email. You don't get the paper. Sometimes you do get the paper, sometimes you get both. It depends on which option you selected whenever you were submitting that application in the first place. But I would highly recommend being on a super high alert lookout, checking your spam folder in your email. If you have multiple email, check all of them daily, spam folders. Make sure you stay on top of it, because I've seen quite a few cases already where people get the email from NVC and it just sits somewhere and they don't pay attention, and that's it. Because it's up to you. Once you get the email from NVC, you have to enter the portal, you have to upload all the information, you have to pay the fees. So there's a lot of work that just because you filed the application with USCIS, it's not even halfway. Most of the work happens on the Department of State portal, which is the NVC. So I hope I answered your question, and good luck with your case. If you have any other questions, you're welcome to come back and ask additional questions. So we're gonna stop on very last one here from Gloria CL. Looks like we have two from her, and so that this video is not too long, and then I will try to come back later in a couple days and move further. Okay, so question from adventureonstore.com. Hi there. Does the citizen asking, in this case is the son asking for the parent, okay, have to be living permanently in the US at the time of the application? Okay, that's a really good question. Whenever you're filling out the application, they do ask you for your mailing address and your physical address, and it would be, just in case, even if you don't live obviously in the United States of America, maybe at the moment, for whatever reason, maybe you're out for work and stuff like that, it's definitely recommended to have the physical and mailing address here in the United States of America, obviously for the purpose of application. So if that's not the case with you, if you don't even completely don't have the address here, then I would probably it's a little bit I would say if you have any relatives here or any friends that you can trust and you can give their mailing address, and the reason for that is because you don't want your correspondence to be mailed anywhere outside of the United States, just in case, because it's much easier for that important correspondence to get lost, and you don't want that. So to answer your question kind of briefly, no, you don't have to live in the United States, because that's not the eligibility requirement. The eligibility requirement is that you are a citizen. That's what matters, your status, all right, and not your accommodations, like if you're living, because people travel for work, people travel for pleasure, you never know. But at the same time, whenever it comes to the address and receiving correspondence, you definitely want to make sure that it's not leaving the United States, just to be on the safe side. All right, moving further to Fernando Inosian. Question: my I-130 just got approved, so do I wait for the email from the state NVC? Fernando, congratulations on your approval of I-130. That's a pretty big one. So I-130 is a petition for alien relative, and when it is approved on the USCIS side by the U.S. Immigration, it is transferred, your case is transferred to the Department of State, and that's what the NVC is. NVC is the internal, basically kind of like a portal for all the, I guess, processing that happens within that certain branch of the Department of State that processes these family reunion cases. So yes, Fernando, to answer your question, you definitely should expect sometime now, really. It's usually pretty quick once you're, like I said in the previous question that I was answering, once your USCIS side of things is approved, it's pretty quick. Usually within like a week or two, you get the email that, hey, this is your login information for the portal, this is your case number, this is your invoice number, or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they give you, but this information you use to log into that portal, where you have to pay some fees. You have to pay basically all the visa fees. You have to upload a bunch of documentation. So there's a lot of work coming your way. Get ready for that. But yes, like I said, email, mail, depending on which option you chose on the USCIS side, I would look out for both, but especially the spam folders in your email, very important. Don't miss, because I know for a fact that sometimes these emails, they do go to spam folder. It's very important not to miss them. Okay, moving further to Marisa Tames. Hi, please help. I filed my daughter's green card renewal. I have the biometrics appointment this month, the 18th. Ooh, in 5 days. The problem is that I think I lost the green card. She has a valid passport. Can I use that an ID for the appointment? And then the answer from Jasmine Rojas: yes, you can use any identification. And okay, yes, Jasmine, I appreciate you answering the question. And with that being said, I wanted to mention for everyone, if you see a question and you know the answer to that question, please do answer. It really is helpful. It's for people that, because I tried to answer all these questions, but you see, it's been 12 days and I still haven't addressed it. So please do answer them. It's really, really helpful. But Marisa, yes, like Jasmine said, you don't have to worry about it at all right? You don't have to present your old green card on the biometrics appointment. All you have to show is your ID, whether it's your driver's license, your state ID, or your passport, or really doesn't, whatever ID it is. ID here is usually considered the picture, the address, the name, right? And that's the state ID or driver's license, which is most common form of ID. That if you still don't have that, you probably should. But I'm gonna put this, make sure that you know that I addressed this, and move to okay, fine, we're gonna do this one as well. All right, there we go. So we're gonna do 3 more. Gloire Ciel, where can I get my green card and citizenship, please? I am from Togo, but I reside now in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, I guess that's the name of the town. Perhaps I will travel to US if God permit, that with a visitor visa for 3 years. I am now American citizen, by the grace of God of the Lord. I would like to know in which state to meet you to get my papers, knowing that I will be in the state of Texas. Thanks, God bless. Gloire Ciel, I gotta say, I'm not really understanding your comment very well. You want to get green card and citizenship, and then you say that you will come on visitor visa, but then you say that you are now American citizen. So I'm a little bit confused. So please clarify that. I'm gonna do this. Please, where and how can I get my green card and citizenship? Thanks. So green card and citizenship, it's a process. Before you get the green card, you have to be eligible for the green card. Before you have to be eligible for the green card, you have to be, certain things that you have to go through. So you're in the right channel, you're in the right place, but I think you need to a little bit kind of take it step by step, and not everything at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna do this so that you know that I addressed your comment, and hopefully you can provide a little bit more information about your situation, and maybe we can review it a little bit further. Okay, the very last comment I'm answering here in this volume 14 now, from Rebelthin. Rebelthin, I recently was denied my request to expedite my wife's I-130 process. Yeah, Rebelthin, unfortunately, that's nothing new. Most of the times these requests are denied, unfortunately. Okay, let me read the whole thing. I feel like they didn't really even look at my case, or even gave me the opportunity to give them details. Do I need to appeal, or do I just try to expedite again? Any guidance will be greatly appreciated. Okay, Rebelthin, I'm very sorry that you're going through this. It's frustrating, I know. And like I said, most of the times, unfortunately, no matter how good to you, to us, right, to applicants, to petitioners, these requests to expedite might sound, right, to USCIS, it really does feel like they don't even consider them. They just deny them and deny them. Honestly, I don't know how urgent it has to be. I am thinking that these requests to expedite are designed more for when there is an actual program, right, a relief that allows the USCIS to expedite these cases. Like, for example, right now USCIS, they have a relief for the situation that happened in Turkey with the earthquakes. Basically, if you are, you have an immigration case going, and you were affected somehow, maybe you were in Turkey, or maybe you missed your flight because of it, or something, you didn't show up for an appointment, right? Something, somehow that earthquake affected, that you missed something, or something needs to happen, right? That is like already a relief program in USCIS, and based on that you can request some kind of exception. But everything else that is out there on a personal level, like, hey, I haven't seen my wife in 10 years, or my wife, I want to see her, she's ill, or something like this. 99% of times, unfortunately, these requests are being denied. So, with all of that being said, to answer your question, do you need to appeal or try expediting again? You can absolutely appeal. You can absolutely try to expedite again. Will it do anything? Probably not. So I think the best case scenario is not to kind of escalate that relationship with USCIS and just let the things go the way they are. Just make sure you stay on top of the processing times and see that your case is not going outside of normal processing times. But unfortunately, just unless you are sure that your situation is just really really urgent. But again, to any normal person who is kind of empathizing with you and listening to your situation, it might seem like, yeah, of course, that definitely should be expedited. But again, for USCIS, unfortunately, that just does not work that way. But the best thing to do is check the processing times, and also in that letter that you received from USCIS saying that they denied your request to expedite your application, read the fine print. Usually they say there if there is for you a way to whether appeal it, ask them to reconsider it, or maybe just to file another request to expedite the application. So in that letter it should be it should have the instructions. So all right, I'm gonna stop on that. Hopefully you guys got your answers. If you have any additional questions, you can drop them in this video. You can drop them in any other video out there. Like as you see, I just go through all of the comments and just try to answer them one by one. As always, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.